Oh my goodness, what is Darwin Nunez doing? My goodness. Oh my god. The guy was a donkey today. This guy was a donkey, okay? There's no other way to say it. He was a donkey today. My goodness. This guy was a donkey today. Can I just check something really quick? Because I need to see this. I need to see this. Guy's busy with life, you know, obviously gotta do some other things. So I just gotta see something real quick here. Okay, let me see the substitute bench. So Joe Gomez is available. See, Joe Gomez, I think, recently came back from an injury. Maybe. If I remember correctly, he maybe just came back from an injury, so maybe that's why he didn't start. But Joe Gomez needs to be starting over Nathaniel Phillips every single day. Nathaniel Phillips is the type of player where he is mid-table, Portuguese league, maybe plays for Braga, maybe. You know what I'm saying? That's what his level is. But for the Premier League, man, no chance. And over Joe Gomez, even worse. Joe Gomez is the guy that needs to be starting, right? The reason why I'm not fully passionate about this is because I do think he just came back from an injury. I could be wrong though, right? Another one is James Milner. I love James Milner as a squad player at this point. Squad player, absolutely. I do feel like Jordan Henderson's the one that should be starting over him too, but maybe he came back from injury as well, so I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to say something right now, okay? We need to sign a midfielder. Like, it just needs to happen because I think it's going to be very, very important to remain and be a world-class team. Because Thiago Alcantara adds such absolute beautiful things in the midfield setup. Passes, dribbling, opening up the space. Him and Fabinho together, I love it, okay? I love it. But we need another midfielder that is world-class if we're going to spend the money. Because here's the thing. So don't get me wrong. Hey, Darwin Nunez was an absolute donkey today. He was a donkey today, right? But it takes me back and it makes me think again, right? Because we're going to be talking about this in the PSG video as well. You have players like Roberto Firmino. You have players like Jota. You have a player like Sadio Mane in your team. But then you feel so... You have this need to buy a striker. And I know why, right? Because before, when Liverpool weren't scoring goals from headers consistently, when they weren't scoring a bunch of goals just from the one individual striker, they thought, hey, we need to get a striker to be able to do this and that. No. It doesn't make sense to me when you have a working system and you change it. Your strikers don't always have to score a ton of goals for you to show how well your team is doing, okay? Olivier Giroud, I don't think this guy had a single shot in the World Cup for France on target. And the guy was still an integral part of that team because of the other things that he offers, okay? It was the same thing with Karim Benzema when Ronaldo was in the team, opening up the space for Ronaldo and whoever was playing in the right wing position. He was either Bale, Asensio when he's on form, you know, when he was on form during that time period. That's what you have to look at mostly. So that alone confuses me. Spending the money on Darwin when you have options in that area where you could just renew a contract for a player that deserves the contract, right? Who does really good stuff with the money. This, like, I know this is not a variable you have to take into consideration, but he does do great things with the money, Sadio Mane, right? So that part was confusing to me. It is what it is. You signed Darwin Nunez. You need a world-class midfielder. Harvey Elliott today was absolutely brilliant. I really liked him today. He was really good, very lively, worked beautifully in the midfield setup. Honestly, if it was him in the midfield setup with someone like a Jude Bellingham or Matteo Nunez, huh? Matteo Nunez. Listen, Liverpool, you know, how many finals have we reached? You know, Premier League won. You know, you spent the money on a striker when, to be honest, you didn't really technically need it. But a midfielder, in a midfielder like Matteo Nunez, you slap a nice little 40, 50 mil on the guy, you have a nice, solid midfielder. Nice, solid midfielder. Okay? So, just food for thought. Guys, I watch the Portuguese league often, Sporting, Benfica, Porto all the time. Matteo Nunez is a good player, okay? And if he were to play in the team, he would create a good balance. But would it be better if they signed a world-class player like a Jude Bellingham, you know what I'm saying? Like, Jude Bellingham is... I would love it, okay? The rest of the team today. Trent Alexander-Arnold, very lucky man. Honestly, on the attack, in the midfield setup, when, you know, he's rotating from the right back position into the midfield setup, this guy's brilliant, okay? He's absolutely incredible. That's why people keep talking about, like, hey, why don't we make Trent Alexander-Arnold a midfielder, blah, 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 right? I completely understand it because he's so good when he's around those positions, right? But he benefits off of being an attacking oriented fullback, right? The problem with him is that he gets beat on the far post way too often. We're very lucky today that Wilfried Zaha choked 2 opportunities. To be fair to Crystal Palace, they did work their butt off today. You know, they were very tired because, you know, a team like Liverpool is going to be all over them. They're going to have to waste a lot of stamina to defend. People don't understand that in football, when you defend all the time, your stamina needs to be crazy, okay? So these guys were obviously tired. There was like 4 or 5 guys on the pitch that wanted to get off because they were exhausted, right? And rightfully so, because their play style was to defend as much as possible and pinpoint certain counterattack opportunities, which is what allowed them to score the 1 opportunity, which, to be fair, man, Zaha's going to dust Phillips in those opportunities, right? If it's like 1-to-1 engagements and they're close to each other, Phillips has more of a chance. And once the pace takes over, there's not really much you could do there, right? I was very surprised that Virgil van Dijk doesn't commit a little bit more forward, because you would assume that he would kind of look behind him to see if there's any other attacker. But he doesn't continue the run because he's putting his faith in Alisson, I guess. But I still feel like he should be blocking that area because he ran so quickly, but then he slowed down, which was a little bit strange. But obviously, Virgil van Dijk in general today, other than that part, right? Brilliant as usual. Liverpool's off to a rough start. I'm not going to say that we're not. I do consider it 4 points dropped, considering you want to challenge for the Premier League title 100%. But honestly, the first game was no better. The first game was even worse. Honestly, it was a game of honestly nothing, right? The game today, there was very good things here and there. Like I said, I think Darwin Nunez was an absolute donkey today, 100%. But there's things that you have to look at that he did do well, right? Off the ball movement in certain positions was fantastic, but this guy, man, he has to get his feet together, you know? He has to get his footing right, because this guy, he does like donkey plays to score, I'm telling you. Even the goal that Salah scored, right, in the first game, where Darwin Nunez like assisted the opportunity, it was kind of from a donkey touch, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, a midfielder is honestly needed. It's kind of crazy that they haven't signed like a really good one yet, but I really like that we have the contract extension on Harvey Elliott, because he's absolutely fantastic. Guys, there's really not much to say about my boy, FC Porto not raised because it wasn't from like academy up, but it was from like when he was like young, and then we kind of, you know what I'm saying. But hey, FC Porto, Luis Diaz, huh? What did I tell you guys, man? Every time I went to the streams, I was doing the pack openings. You guys probably watched the pack opening videos on YouTube, right? When I was like putting them out. What did I tell you guys about this guy's work rates, man? This guy's work rates, he works his butt off on the pitch. But not only that, but he offers so much quality in your team. Absolutely brilliant quality. The Darwin Nunez red card, him not playing the next game or whatever, however long they banned him for, because it was a headbutt, right? So the FA could charge him longer. It could be 4 games, if anything. Don't mind that. If we get Jota back from injury, don't know how long he's going to be out for. That's fine. Do we have Firmino or no? Dang, Firmino's not here either. Oh, we in trouble now. See, Mane would be the guy that'd play in striker. But if those guys don't come back, it'd probably be Salah at striker, and then we would play with a different winger, probably Fabio Carvalho. I could see him playing, to be honest with you. Yeah, rough situations, man, rough situations. But Nathaniel Phillips, I'm telling you guys, this guy's like a mid-table Portuguese team, Braga type of player, in my opinion. I'm sorry, but truth be told, truth be told, this guy, Eze. Dude, I like this kid, man. He's really good. I like the little combination play between him and Wilfried Zaha. Like, they're honestly very, very good together. Solid players. But yeah, some signings need to be made, man. Darwin Nunez was an absolute donkey today. Luis Diaz was absolutely fantastic. Honestly, Mohamed Salah, he was pretty decent today. He made the runs, he got involved. Didn't really happen for him, obviously, with the way that the game was kind of progressing. Honestly, they benefit. I feel like Liverpool, right? Liverpool really benefits off of playing with a striker who's more of a poacher, false nine type of player, right? Firmino is a very false nine type of player. Jota is a very poacher type of player, right? But he's also kind of like false nine as well, because he works his ass off the pitch too. So it's really weird that they signed this guy. I'm going to be honest with you, and for as much money as they did, they could have signed some players elsewhere. I do thoroughly believe that. Even keeping Sadio Mane would have been a better option, in my opinion, especially for players that are so familiar with how your club works and how they play. It's just very confusing that it was even done. Because honestly, using Sadio Mane in the striker position at some point just became really, really nice. And nowadays at Bayern Munich, Sadio Mane is also playing the striker position, with Bayern Munich still lining up in that 4-2-3-1. Sometimes it depends because they rotate in the game as well. And it works out great for them. So yeah, very weird situation. Do I think Darwin Nunez will do well this season? Honestly, for a player like him, like, you would have to give him like 4 or 5 games. He's probably going to be suspended for 4 or 5 games now, to be honest with you. That's a headbutt, right? So I'm pretty sure they're going to charge him longer. We'll see what the vibes are. But yeah, it's a lot of points dropped so far, man. A lot of points dropped so far. Next game is Manchester United. We all know Manchester United is not hot right now, but you never know, man. You never know in those rivalry games. We never know what happens. So we'll see. Hopefully we can have a striker that is competent enough to play in that position, because Darwin was not it today. But yeah, you know, it was a decent game to watch. Some things annoy me. Fabio Carvalho had a decent cameo. Simicaz today was off too, man. Simicaz went on for Andy Robertson. Man, I could count like 4 or 5 crosses that were like completely wayward, which he should be doing better. Obviously, being fresh on the pitch, you know, it's one of those types of situations. But yeah, off game from a couple players today. Decent players, decent game from decent players, obviously, for some people. But yeah, a lot of things, man. Honestly, a midfielder needs to be signed. Like, that's the main thing. I really think that money needs to be spent on getting a very solid midfielder. I like James Milner. I'm a huge fan of James Milner, to be honest with you. But I would have preferred, you know, using James Milner as a squad player. Nathaniel Phillips, like, I'm surprised that this guy is still in this like whole rotation thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand, because I guess I'm assuming Joe Gomez just came back from injury. I'm assuming, right? But yeah, even still, I'd probably put Fabinho at center back, honestly, and then use Jordan Henderson in the midfield position. I'm not even joking when I say that. Like, that's what I would have personally done. Because Nathaniel Phillips, I remember watching this guy when Liverpool had injured players left, right, and center. It was him and another guy. It was was it Collins? He's not here anymore. I think he went out on loan. He might have gone to like Fulham or something. I forget what the guy's name was, but it might have been Phillips that actually went to Fulham. But there was 2 different guys where I was like, oh, this season, if we get top 4, we're good, you know? And I think they got 3rd place. Fantastic stuff, right? But yeah, this real rotation policy here is not it, my boy. But yeah, another midfielder, 100% needed. Guys, thanks for watching the video. I'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.